Welcome back. Here we go, Tate Design Group. And we're going to bring you part 2 of really bad design series. This is my series, if you guys are new, this is my series to really bad design that has been brought to the market. And most of the time I'm usually critiquing logos. And the last time I critiqued MLB's hybrid caps, which was really bad. If you didn't see those before, they look like that. They were really bad. And in Mexican that spells, something of a woman's body part. ASH, ash, O's, ash, oh, yeah. And then anals, it was really bad. So, with that being said, this was not good at all. This was really bad. So, with that being said, it brings us now to the automotive industry. I'm a big fan of Cadillac. I love Cadillac cars. And I always have high hopes that the American brand should be competing against Mercedes, BMW, and Rolls-Royce and Bentley. And they're competing against BMW, and they're competing against, I don't know, I wouldn't say S-Class Mercedes, but they are competing against the lower tier models under the S-Class, and they're competing very well against them. Anything that starts at S-Class and above, there's no competition. So, many years ago, Cadillac came out with some concept cars that were really, when I tell you they was lit, they was lit. I'm going to pull them up here on the bottom. As you can see here down below, I have some icons, some pictures, some actual folders actually, as you can see. The one that I got most excited about was this one here, the El Mirage. Now the El Mirage, we're going to pull this over a little bit. I'm going to skate this over. The El Mirage, to me, was the coupe that should have been made. This coupe should have been made. I believe this one floated around 2015. They should have made this vehicle. To me, this was a great vehicle to start off the big luxury coupe. And this was easily the S-Class competitor. I would even dare to say Rolls-Royce, Bentley GT coupe competitor. Definitely a GT coupe competitor. This El Mirage. I hated the name. I thought it sucked. But I thought the look of the vehicle was exactly what Cadillac needed in the market. They could have easily did a 4-door version to be the competitor to the S-Class. That would have worked. But this was definitely the big boy coupe that should have been made. And in styling fashion, GM always fucks it up. They do. They mess it up. And when we didn't end up getting this. We ended up getting the CT6, which is actually this baby here. Let's close this one out. No. We end up getting this. So we went from, not that one. We went from this to, we went from this concept to CT6. So let's go back, let's look at it. We went from that to this. And I don't know how this became that, but it did, and we ended up getting trash. Like we always. GM always finds a way to fuck it up. And they did. They really messed this up. And it wasn't good at all. And we ended up with the CT6. no one wants the CT6, and that's why it crashed and burned a couple of years later. And I'm not sure why GM decided to do that, but they had it right the first time, and they opted for something else. And now, hence, it brings us to the Cadillac Celestiq. Basically, what we're really talking about. We ended up with this, and as you can see, this is not good. This is really, really not good at all. And we ended up with a vehicle that we didn't want. And they're trying to sell us something we don't like. Now, they gave us magnetic ride control. That's the magnetic rear lorical suspension that you'll find on the Corvettes and the Cadillacs, originally on the Cadillac. Fun fact, if you didn't know, the Ferrari 458 and the Ferrari 888 Speciale also have magnetic ride control on it. The magnetic rear lorical suspension, they have it on there as well, which they licensed from Cadillac at the time. So a lot of people don't know Ferrari actually has Cadillac DNA in one of their most prestigious and most heralded cars, which was the 458, 488 Ferrari. So just to let you know that how good that control, that magnetic ride is. It's really good. And it gives it all this performance in the Stingrays and Corvettes. Now, if you look at this car from the front, it looks great. And, the fact that it is probably a hybrid electric vehicle or all electric vehicle, it's a really, really, I guess, aesthetically, supposedly good looking vehicle, but it really is not. It just dies. Right here, if you can see where my mouse is at, it just died right here. They originally pulled this concept from the Escala, which means scale, and it was this vehicle that came out back in 2016, if you can see. But once again, it has this hatchback like it's some sort of Honda or something, and it's not cool. Not sure what happened here, but it just died. It really did. It died right in that area. Let's pull it over here. There we go. Why doesn't want to? It always wants to do something different other than what you want it to do. And I want it to. There we go. So, yeah, it died here. It was doing great over here, but it died back here. And they kind of carried that on. They carried it on to the Celestiq, this hatchback. Nobody likes hatchbacks. Maybe the Europeans still like their wagons, but in the United States, the wagon has been dead. Yeah, technically since the late 70s, early 80s. Those days are gone. So if you're Gen X and you remember riding in the back of the station wagon, this is the $300,000 station wagon. And you can't even sit in it the way you used to with the old school ones. So this is dead. Nobody wants this. I have some issues with the interior, which we're going to be actually highlighting in this video. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. Once again, this back end killed the whole vehicle. So let's take a look at some of the interior of the Celestiq. And so here we go. I'm going to open up this folder. And as you can see, I'm going to actually, all these, we're going to open them up. We'll preview app, we're going to take a look. And as you can see, the interior, we're going to be going through it. it tried to be something that it's not. If I'm paying $400,000 for a sports luxury coupe or a sports luxury sedan, hatchback, hashtag, slash hatchback, I don't want fabric. I don't want fabric. The moment some fabric gets on this, and I don't care how much Scotch Guard you got, it's going to be forever stained. And unless you're taking a steamer to it to clean it out, it will forever be stained. I worked in the fashion business for 30 years. I'm telling you, it's going to be stained. And any smell, extremely hard to get out without a deionizer in the vehicle. So these computer renderings, they look great, but it lacks soul. I hate to use that phrase towards a GM vehicle, because they're supposed to be the heart of America. And this interior cabin, it doesn't feel like, it just feels soulless, like a Tesla, except you have more screens. It's a very soulless interior. It doesn't feel good. This here is a back shot. This is great. Right here they have the airplane mode, the airplane style, which I like a lot. You can rest your laptop or something on. It looks a little small, but let's get that out of there. I hate when that happens. You can't never get these things out of here once you make them. But, it looks okay. Like I said, I do like the center console. I'm not too happy about the seats. They do not look comfortable at all. Aesthetically, yeah, they look nice. They just don't look comfortable. Once again, you can see it from the back, very thin, not very robust looking seats. Not happy with it at all. Looks very soulless. Not happy with it at all. I wish that GM would have put the extra money to make the cabin feel more luxurious and closer to a Rolls Royce or Bentley interior. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Bentley interior. Let's see what happens. We can find the Bentley interior. Let's pull this back here. And let's go to cars. So in this one here, I have some Bentley interiors. If we can, here we go. And so I'm gonna pull these up. And there's some various Bentleys, but I felt that the interior is where Cadillac should have been aiming for. And we're going to open it up with the preview app. Now that's an interior. That feels like a very robust and expensive cabin. You really don't need that many screens. And I think that by GM putting all these screens there, it just didn't do it any justice. It really didn't. Now this was a Cadillac interior, I believe, from the El Mirage, which was cool. For some strange reason they would get into the center dash and kind of blocking it off as if you were in a cockpit. But a lot of people didn't like the way that felt or the way that felt, and ultimately they let go of it, especially with the Corvettes. If you notice, the 2025, 2026 models now have a different center console because of that same, they didn't want this. They did not want this, not the way it's laid out. It felt very restrictive to the passenger side. and not feeling in equal balance. This here feels in equal balance. You know, you have the shifter, you have your AC vents with metal bezels going everywhere, the two-tone steering wheel, which is really nice, a nice touch. It looks great. It looks like a fantastic interior. And you could have added some wide screens to it to really, you know, jazz it up a bit, but this is how a luxury interior should look like. And I'm not sure what the Cadillac people were thinking about when they made this boat and the interior. Sometimes when something is working, it's working, and you should have just left it alone. And I believe they should have left it alone. So we have the Celestiq, and I think that this is a really bad design. What I'm showing you here is the original, and this was my mock-up version. And as you can tell, we made some significant changes, and with those changes, as you can tell, we got rid of the most obvious, which was that horrible hatchback. So here in Photoshop, as you can see, you know, I made all of these little funky changes all over the place. So as you can see, I really went in, and there was no AI that did this. This was actually me chopping up a vehicle. As you can see, certain things that I may have added or thrown in. Right over here was the light. I threw that light in actually from the CT6. It actually looked better than what they have for the Celestiq. That front light bar going across, yeah, that's another manufacturer's thing. I didn't feel that it fit for a Cadillac. So as you can see, I did a lot of changes. That was basically the brunt of the car right there. And so it looks better with the shadow actually, but as you can see, the wheels are much larger and the tire is much larger than the factory. And so yeah, I bulked it up a little bit. It looks a little more bulky than the original, but still, it doesn't look like the original, because the original looks like this. And as you can tell, we left the main body part the same and kind of worked around the other parts, such as the back tail end, the open daylight window. We worked on that. And so we got that. On another note, we also revised the CT6, which was failed. And I felt if they were going to go this look instead of the Cadillac Mirage, then it should have looked like this. Ah, yeah, see now it looks, yeah, right. Now it looks better, right? Look at it. If you were going with this shape, body shape of the CT6, and you wanted to make it a coupe instead of a four-door sedan, it should have looked like that. You know, it should have had that look, that feel, that presence that should have been there, and we didn't get any of that. So as you can see, the wheels, you know, just kind of playing around with it. I really stripped a lot off of this. That's just to put the tire on it. So you can see these two are the tires. I'm just pulling away from all of this. And as you can see how small the original rims are compared to what I actually created here in Photoshop. And this is just me putting together a crude idea of the rims. I wasn't trying to do the ultra luxurious Photoshop on this. I just wanted to lay down the ideas, and so that you can see how much different my CT6 coupe versus the sedan looked. I shortened it. I shortened the wheelbase as well. It kept the back the same pretty much, but I did feel, if you notice here, if you look, so on the CT6, it's kind of open, right? But on mine's, I made it so that it was filled in and the license plate would be more recessed in. So it would look aesthetically look better. And also I added the rear spoiler up here in this area, you can see, as opposed to the antenna. And then on my version, the top, if you look at the very top, the roof, mine would actually be panoramic. And we start from here and go all the way back to the end. Similar to Tesla, it would be literally one panel from here all the way back, and then the windshield would be separate. But this would literally be glass. This glass would be translucent as well as opaque based on the electrical current that goes through it. So basically you can make it transparent as an open window during the day, or you can hit the fog mode and blacken it out, and you want to block out the sun, or you just want to block out, it's nighttime, you don't want any lights peering over you, you can black it out as well. So there was a lot of changes that I wanted to make. And of course, if you can see the front grille, let's pull it up a little bit. So if you can see the front grille, there was a lot of changes done. I made the front grille shorter in length. As you can see, here to here, it is a whole lot shorter than here. And that's because in building it, the engine would actually sit on top of the front axle. So the engine would actually start here, somewhere right around here, not up there, but somewhere here. It would sit and then make its way back here. And that way it would technically maybe be a mid-engine, front mid-engine car, but the engine would definitely go back a bit, not sitting as close to the front that the way it is now. So as soon as you pop the hood open, the radiator is probably right here, and the engine is starting right here. My engine would start right about where the axle is at and then work its way back. V12 engine, yes, it's going to be a big boy. I think GM needs to put on their big boy pants and start producing V12s. More so for the prestige of the brand. Anybody can do a V8 twin turbo or bi-turbo engine, but putting a V8, a V12 in it, and GM would make a V12, not a W12 like the Bentley. The Bentley has a W12. GM would make a V12, just like they made a V16 with their Cadillac 16 vehicle as well. So if you've never seen that one, that was really cool. Let's break this out of here. That was really cool. I believe we may have a copy of the 16 here. Yeah, we have a copy of the 16. And here's the 16. This was a big baby. Look at that engine. V16 Cadillac. Really cool. I believe this one may have been introduced back in the early 2010s. I'm going to say around 2009 maybe, somewhere around there, or 2008. Really nice. But it was a V16. Really, really nice. And I think GM needs to go back to making a V12 and then put it in this baby. And I think that would bring the prestige back to Cadillac, because right now this ain't it. This ain't it. And I'm sorry. This is a butt-ass ugly car. It's a really bad design. And this right here killed the whole car. The back end.